of self-love is self-discipline. When we look at self-love, there's a variety of forms. My friend was just speaking, my bro was just speaking on, could you?
So self-love, I was saying how I love myself, and how I described that, was to say that like I was proud of who I was, that I stood by myself, and that despite how my exterior situation reflected, I wouldn't let it change my view of myself. And that was how I was describing self-love.
Yes.
And then you pointed out
this form of self-love, this is the seed of all self-love. Until we can be identifying how we keep ourselves safe, how we live out our boundaries, how we keep our commitments to ourselves, how we're proud of ourselves or feel good enough, we can't get to self-love in that form. And once we're in that form of self-love, we can start to get to know ourselves. We can go into solitude or into different moments of rejection from peers or authority, where our feeling of self-love will be necessary to go against other people's self-love of trying to manipulate us to do something that wasn't good for us, right? And so when we get to self-discipline is the form of self-love that puts the consistent interest of the self in balance with all the other variables in the environment.
It's a caring for a caregiver, type of type of love.
Yeah.
Whereas like what I described, more emotional, right?
Maybe
like a different form entirely, really, of love, of self-love. Like the boundary between the different forms was what was stark to me. That I hadn't considered that there could be different types. And then when you pointed out how discipline was the self-love, that's totally different than what I just described.
It is different, but self-discipline as self-love isn't possible until we get to that first more emotional. And I don't even know if it's just emotional either, because that's really psychological and really primal, right? I mean, that seed of self-love, an actual genuine caring of the self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? An affinity towards your own skin.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
An affinity towards the skin you're in. I mean, that is, whew.
That is something.
That is something to earn right
there.
there. We could bottle that up. We would retire the next day.
No, yeah, right? That's a great feeling.
And so when we get to this seed of self-love, that's where we can allow ourselves to discover our what we want our self-disciplines to be, to create what we want to become.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's